This is Carla from Fluent Dog Training, and here is Riley. She's a German Shepherd who's here for training. Her owner just dropped her off this morning. And this is our first Ask Me Anything. Thanks to everyone who submitted questions. I really appreciate it, and let's get started. So first question. When I take my dog to the dog park, he just hides in the corner and seems scared. How can I get him to be more confident? Well, first of all, I would say don't go to the dog park. And I'm not just saying that as I don't know how to train that behavior. I certainly know how to teach confidence in dogs. It's a gradual desensitization process, but I just don't see anything good about dog parks. Typically, the people that go to dog parks have dogs that are extremely high energy and they feel like they need to go there to drain the dog's energy. But essentially all you're doing is creating a dog that's really, really fit. So you have a disobedient dog who's super athletic, which is the opposite of what you want. I would much more recommend doing obedience outside of the dog park. That's going to tire your dog out so much faster because it is a very distracting environment and it's difficult for dogs to focus with so many other dogs around. So basically, if you want to go to the dog park, that's fine, just don't bring your dog. That's not my saying. I was told that by George Cockrell, who is one of the very influential trainers that I learned from. Next question. How do I take the CGC test? The CGC test, that's the Canine Good Citizen. Really good goal to work towards with your dog. It covers all the basic obedience that you would want your dog to do. Sit, down, stay, coming when called, walking nicely on a leash, stuff like that. And on the AKC website, you can go to the CGC section and it will show all the different evaluators in your state. Personally, I teach classes at Capital Dog Training Center, and we have Canine Good Citizen tests every month usually. So right now we're shut down due to coronavirus, but whenever it resumes, let me know if you want to take the test, and I'm happy to send you the information on how to sign up. Fairly simple. Next question. How do we get our dog to not poop on the sidewalk? We've worked with him since he was a puppy to go on command, and he does. But sometimes, randomly, when we're walking, he just stops and starts pooping in the middle of the sidewalk. It's very embarrassing. Help. It seems like the longer the walk, the more often it happens. Late in a walk, he will poop even when he doesn't need to. Just a little blip. That's my favorite part of this question. What's going on? Well, I would say that if he is pooping at the end of the walk, clearly that means he has to poop. I wouldn't be super concerned or embarrassed about it. You know, dogs poop. That's what they do. But if it bothers you, I would say give him more opportunities to poop. And I know you have your livestock guardian dog trained to go on command. So even if he doesn't have to poop at that time, as long as he lifts a leg, I would count that as complying with the command. So hopefully that helps. Next question. How do we train our pup to not bark at people passing by our fence? It seems to be getting worse. He's a guarding breed mix, but we don't want him to guard. Typically, when he barks, we make him sit, get his eye contact, and make him lay down. Is there anything else to do aside from investing in a shock collar? So two things. You have a livestock guardian dog, and he is literally born to guard. That's his purpose for a living. So I would say kind of set the parameters or put it on command of when it's acceptable to guard. Maybe one bark is okay. And you can do this when you notice him barking, pair a word with it. Maybe guard, or it could be potato. It doesn't really matter what the word is, as long as you're consistent about saying it. When he engages in that behavior, say yes and mark it. Kind of capture that behavior as it's happening naturally, and then eventually that word will be able to elicit the behavior, which I think you're pretty familiar with already. And as far as him being a guarding breed but you don't want him to guard, I would definitely give him an outlet for doing so, whether it's some type of game you play with toys or, as I said, putting it on command. give him an outlet to fulfill his natural behaviors. He's going to be a lot happier that way. But he doesn't have to do so in a way that you find, offensive, that your neighbors don't like, him barking his head off at them. And the last part, is there anything else to do aside from investing in a shock collar? I went over a couple of the things you can try, but there is nothing wrong with investing in a shock collar. I would say one of the best books that you can get to learn about it is Everything You Need to Know About E-Collars or Electronic Collars by Larry Crone. He is a really good guy, has a lot of YouTube videos that are very informative, easy to follow. I'm a huge proponent of e-collars as long as you buy a brand that's high quality. There are some on Amazon that are like $20, $40. You really want to be getting one from E-Collar Technologies, Garmin, Dogtra. Those are the really high quality brands. And the reason for recommending these ones that are much more expensive, like $100 plus, is that they're very consistent. So, for example, E-Collar Technologies goes from 1 to 100. If, on all of them, 1 is a 1, and 100, that's like extreme. I've never gone to 100 on the one for my dog. But the ones that are cheaper, a 1 might sometimes be like a little tickle, and sometimes might be like bzz. They're just inconsistent, and they're not made very well. And that's not something you want to experiment on your dog with. So it is worth the money for something that you can use on your dog every single day of his life. I have my dog off leash every single day because of the e-collar. So I'm happy to follow up with you if you have more questions about that. So those are all the questions we have for today. And thank you so much for watching and submitting questions, and I'll see you next time.